Thanks again. Just to kind of summarize, I'm a practitioner just like all of you. I'm sure you have many scars on your back in doing different types of projects for different companies, either within your company, if you're in an industry role, or if you're in a professional services consulting, helping other companies. What I'm really passionate about is really improving business performance on an ongoing basis and take it to the next tier. So that's what I've been doing for multiple decades. My industry specialization is financial services, high tech, and healthcare. I've spent about 8 to 9 years in each one of those verticals, and I look forward to, over the next 50 to 60 minutes, primarily share my perspectives in doing this kind of work and leading different types of programs to success. Many of them have been for large global companies, but I've also done work for small to mid-sized organizations, and I've assisted companies that are global. So I've had the opportunity to work in different parts of the globe as well. So that's kind of what I bring. And today's focus for us is going to be on leadership, the criticality, the significance, the importance of leadership, and in the context of a large-scale, complex business transformation initiative. So going back to the PMI triangle that Jessica alluded to, so we're really talking about the leg of leadership, strategy, and business management. Those are the areas. So with that said, what I plan to do in the next 45-50 minutes is kind of broken it up into 3 segments. Not a single day goes by with folks using the word, transformation. So I just want to level set on that, what I mean by that, and quickly tie that in back to leadership and management. So that's the first part of the agenda, which I assume would take, about 15 to 20 minutes. Then I will move on to primarily focusing on what I mean by leadership, how I have applied it on different types of engagements across different functions, across stakeholders, both business and IT, and in driving large-scale programs. And as part of that, hope to present a couple of frameworks as well as a 10-step roadmap that I have used and applied. Along the way, I will touch upon a couple of techniques, including leadership model, sponsorship model, a governance model, a couple of those techniques. So that segment would run for about 20 to 30 minutes. But I don't want to shortchange. I'm sure there would be questions along the way, and so want to devote the last 10-15 minutes for Q&A. So that's how it's kind of structured. I would suggest if you have any questions, feel free to keep sending those through the chat window. But we will take all those questions once I'm done with the first 2 sections. So with that said, would like to know a little bit about you, a little bit in terms of which industry sector you primarily belong to or contribute to. So I've listed, some industries. I apologize if I missed anyone, but at a high level, I've got your healthcare, financial services, high tech. Would like to get a gauge of the audience. Looks like we have got close to 90 attendees. So that's a great critical mass. If you can, on the chat window, just highlight or just mention your primary sector that you have been contributing to. I see high tech, I see manufacturing, insurance, financial services, Kevin Livingstone, pharma, healthcare. As you can see, we have a terrific audience, and each of these industry sectors have got so much change going on, and lots happening. Of course, certain macro trends like digitization and globalization impact folks in any industry, but it's just good to get a gauge for. So that's great. Very diverse audience we have here. So I see Richard mentioning healthcare, so that's great. Okay, so let's kind of switch to another quick poll. My emphasis is actually on execution, and in this particular webinar, and the significance of leadership in executing strategy, executing programs, executing projects. But I realize that individuals come in different roles, and many of you may not be in this kind of a role that I have on this next slide. But I'm just curious, what role do you play, or what, and it could be anything, even outside of the bullet points here. But given the context of this, I just wanted to kind of get a gauge of how many are attending who are in this role. Program managers, project managers, I see Bob there, change manager. I saw a couple of responses here on the chat window who are executive sponsors. I saw a management consultant, project manager, Deborah. So it looks like we have really a very nice mix of attendees here who have assumed, different roles as part of their progression and I haven't seen anyone kind of saying business analysis, but anyway, I think the field of business analysis is really kind of so broad that I'm sure some of you may be managing folks who play a business analyst core role, or managing business analysis teams, or it may be something that you do anyway, but you're not kind of have that formal responsibility. Great. So that's great. So this kind of gives you a feel as well of who we have in attendance today. So when questions pop up, you kind of have also kind of view of potentially where it's coming from. So that's the reason I just wanted to kind of do these two polls quickly. Okay. Great. So let's kind of dive in. I've used the word transformation a couple of times already. Perspective transformation is really about execution. There is a strategy piece to it. So, organizations need to decide where they're heading, what their game plan is, what their strategy is in the front end. But to ultimately make any kind of large-scale change happen, which is what is also transformation, it's really about execution. It's about the execution life cycle. So I think of a transformation as a complex initiative. One big thing with transformation is that you're really trying to innovate the business model. It could be innovation of the product or services that you're already involved in. It could be major changes to infrastructure or systems retooling. It could be heavy-duty business process kind of re-engineering. The goal ultimately is still the same. It is to really make drastic improvement, and the focus is on drastic. In other words, it's radical innovation, not small change improvement like total quality management or just minor changes, right? So this is really more about large-scale, complex step change. And I use the word business outcome here that multiple times, and again, that's something that we see so often. But from my perspective, business outcome is really a direct translation of achievement of strategic objectives. It's the achievement of the business goals. That in turn can be translated into business results. So through key value indicators, key performance measures, and there will be supporting metrics. So that's really, whenever you hear the term business outcome, that's really about delivery of business results and achieving the desired goals and benefits. It has a wide-ranging impact, and that's where it gets into the field of organizational change. So it's a change endeavor, and any kind of change endeavor, many of you would know, has a enterprise-wide impact. At the same time, it has a human-level impact. And so we really need to be, in the context of a business transformation, need to make sure that both those two legs are kind of factored in the case of a large-scale organization change initiative. It is, in instances, impacting multiple functions. It could be at an enterprise level. It could be done in a particular division. Of course, when we talk about